Have you ever asked yourself why posting a simple picture feels heavier for you than for everyone else? As if something inside you is holding your hand back? A question that sounds small, but hides a spiritual truth bigger than you think. Something strange has been happening inside you, and you've never fully understood why. While everyone around you posts their pictures without thinking, without hesitation, without a second of internal conflict, you pause. Your hand freezes. Your spirit tightens. You stare at the screen as if a simple image is asking more from you than it asks from anyone else. You feel exposed before you've even shared anything. You upload, then delete. You adjust, then rethink. You wonder why something so small feels so heavy. And deep inside, a quiet question rises. Is there something wrong with me? Or is there something about me that others can't see? What if this hesitation isn't fear, but recognition? What if the discomfort you feel every time you try to share your face with the world is not insecurity, but spiritual intelligence? What if your spirit knows something your mind has not caught up to yet? Today, you will discover that your silence online is not a flaw. It is a sign, a warning, a protection, a spiritual truth hiding in plain sight. And once you understand it, you will never look at yourself or your photos the same way again. Before we go deeper, take a moment to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment 99 below. Spiritually, 99 represents completion that has not yet been revealed, a sign that something in you is awakening right now. There is something about you that even you haven't fully recognized yet. A weight, a density, a depth in your presence that most people don't carry. You walk through the world as if you're ordinary, but your spirit has never agreed with that version of you. And this is why posting a picture isn't simple in your life, because for you, an image isn't just an image. It is a doorway, a point of access, a spiritual opening that allows others to reach toward your energy, even if their intentions remain hidden behind a screen. You've underestimated yourself, but your spirit never has. It sees the truth long before your emotions catch up. It knows that your aura carries a rare frequency, the kind that awakens curiosity, triggers envy, attracts projection, and stirs emotions in people who don't even know why they're reacting to you. Some people can post freely because there is nothing in their energy that others can extract or interfere with. But you carry light that unsettles shadows. You carry clarity that exposes confusion. You carry purpose that challenges people who have none. And your spirit knows exactly how dangerous that can be when you place your image in front of the wrong eyes. This is why you feel that internal stop before you share anything. Not because you're afraid, but because your spirit is acting as a shield your mind doesn't fully comprehend yet. It's protecting you from envy that disguises itself as harmless attention, from spiritual projections thrown at you by people who don't understand why your existence irritates the wounds they've never healed, from misinterpretations of your light by those who only see through the fog of their own brokenness. Your spirit is not trying to hide you. It's guarding you, guarding your softness, guarding your progress, guarding the parts of you that are still forming, still strengthening, still absorbing the wisdom needed for your next chapter. And every time you hesitate before posting, something in you whispers, "Not yet, not like this, not to everyone." This hesitation is sacred. It's not a limitation. It's spiritual discernment, a silent alarm from the deepest part of your soul. And while most people never notice when their energy is being accessed, drained, or distorted, you feel it instantly, even if you can't explain it. That's not insecurity. That's awareness wrapped in intuition. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because if your spirit has been guarding something so carefully, it means there is a far bigger reason behind this protection. A reason you're about to uncover in the next part of this journey. And once you hear it, everything you thought you knew about your own silence will shift. There is a reason you feel a strange tension rising inside you the moment you think about putting your face out into the world. It's not paranoia, it's not overthinking, it's not insecurity masquerading as caution. It is something far older, far deeper, far more spiritual than anything you were taught to recognize. Chosen ones carry a presence that cannot be hidden, even when they try. Your aura speaks before you open your mouth. Your energy announces you before your body enters the room. And this same energy creates a ripple effect online, even through a photo. You don't just capture an image, you transmit frequency. And because of that, you attract attention you never asked for, curiosity you didn't seek, eyes that don't merely observe, but analyze, absorb, interpret, and sometimes even attempt to interfere. The truth is, You feel watched because you are watched. Not in a dramatic or fearful way, but in a spiritual sense that most people cannot perceive. Some individuals sense your light and feel drawn to it without understanding why. Others sense your power and feel threatened by what it awakens in them. And beyond the physical world, there are energies, both positive and negative, that keep track of those who carry a unique calling. Your spirit has always been aware of this unseen audience. It detects subtle attention long before your mind understands what's happening. And so, when you prepare to post a photo, that inner tightening you feel is not hesitation. It is spiritual sensitivity. It is your soul recognizing that visibility has a cost. Exposure has consequences. Light attracts both seekers and shadows. Most people can share themselves freely because their energy is neutral, unnoticed, unmonitored, unremarkable in the spiritual realm. But you are not one of them. You were born with a resonance that disrupts what is stagnant, illuminates what is hidden, and challenges what is false. This is why you can walk into a space and immediately feel the atmosphere shift. This is why people glance at you more than you prefer, even when you're silent. This is why strangers remember you without knowing your name. Your presence leaves an imprint. And online, that imprint becomes even more amplified. Your spirit knows that every photo you share becomes an echo of your identity. A moment where your essence becomes visible to those who would never have access to you otherwise. So your hesitation isn't weakness, it's discernment. It's the quiet awareness that visibility invites observation, and not all observation is harmless. And yet, the most intriguing part is this. The more you try to understand this sensitivity, the more you'll realize it isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. Because there is something your spirit has been sensing, a deeper layer behind this invisible watching. And once you uncover it, the entire meaning of your silence will take on a new dimension. There is a reason you move differently, a reason you don't treat your image, your presence, or your story the way others do. You are not someone who throws pieces of yourself into the world carelessly. You are not someone who shares just to be seen or posts just to feel validated. You belong to a rare group of individuals whose identity carries weight. Weight you can feel even when you try to ignore it. And this is why a photo for you is never just a photo. It becomes a mirror of your evolution, a snapshot of your authenticity, a glimpse into the path your spirit has been walking in silence. You sense that every image you release carries a part of your truth, and truth is something you refuse to offer cheaply. While many people post to impress, distract, pretend, or entertain, you hold back because you know your presence deserves intention. You know your transformation is sacred. You know your journey isn't a spectacle for strangers to consume. And somewhere deep inside, you understand that your image reveals more than you say. Your eyes expose your growth. Your posture carries your resilience. Your expression reflects the battles you've survived. People with shallow intentions can share freely because nothing about their identity is rooted in purpose. But you carry depth that cannot be packaged into convenience. You have lived through seasons that changed the way you move, the way you speak, the way you show up in the world. Every stage of your growth required silence, reflection, rebuilding. And you instinctively protect that process because you know how valuable it is. This is why superficial exposure feels wrong, meaningless, out of alignment, almost disrespectful to the person you have become. Your reluctance is not insecurity, it is self-awareness, a heightened intuition that knows, what I reveal must match who I truly am. You don't post lightly because you refuse to betray your own evolution, because you refuse to shrink your complexity into something the internet can misinterpret in seconds, because you refuse to let your identity become entertainment for people who have never carried what you've carried. There is also a silent wisdom in you, a sense that your life is unfolding in chapters, not snapshots. And until a chapter is ready, you do not display it. You wait, you discern. You honor the timing of your growth. Yet the most powerful part of all this is something you rarely admit to yourself. You know you are meant for more than surface-level visibility. You know your life is not random. You know your path has meaning that most people never touch. And deep inside, there is a voice that says, when I show myself, it must be for a purpose bigger than image. This inner understanding is not holding you back, it is preparing you. Because your identity is shifting, maturing, sharpening into something unmistakable. And soon, the world won't just see your face, they will feel your presence. But before that happens, there is another truth waiting beneath the surface. A truth that explains why your transformation cannot yet be displayed. and why your spirit has been insisting on silence until the right moment arrives. There is a phase in every chosen one's journey that almost no one talks about. A phase where everything inside you is shifting, but nothing on the outside seems to make sense yet. A phase where God moves in silence, reshaping pieces of you that even you didn't know needed healing. And during this sacred reconstruction, something strange begins to happen. You feel an unexplainable resistance to being seen, not because you're hiding, but because heaven is. When God is working on you, He often places a veil over your life, a spiritual covering that protects the parts of you still being restored. Your spirit knows when a chapter is unfinished. It knows when your growth is too tender to be exposed. It knows when revealing yourself too early could invite interference, misunderstanding, or distraction. And this is why posting a picture feels wrong, because it would reveal a version of you that is still becoming. You are in a stage of internal evolution that is delicate and deeply spiritual. Something inside you is expanding, shedding, realigning. Old patterns are breaking. New vision is forming. Your identity is dissolving and rebuilding at the same time. It is a process so intimate that sharing it publicly would cheapen it. You're not meant to document every layer of transformation. Some breakthroughs happen behind closed doors. Some glow-ups don't need an audience until the work is complete. Some seasons require silence because silence is where strength grows. The world glorifies constant exposure, but heaven honors hiddenness. And right now, whether you realize it or not, you are in divine incubation. God has placed you in a spiritual cocoon, not to restrict you, but to prepare you, not to dim you, but to refine you, not to hide you, but to ensure that when you finally step forward, you do so with clarity, authority, and purpose. Posting your image would feel out of alignment because your spirit senses the truth. Your transformation is unfinished, fragile, sacred. You are not avoiding visibility. Visibility is simply waiting for the right version of you. And you can feel that. You can feel that your life is shifting beneath the surface, that your energy is upgrading, that your path is rearranging itself in ways your mind hasn't caught up to yet. You've outgrown old versions of yourself, but you haven't fully stepped into the new one. You're in the hallway between who you were and who you're becoming. And this transition, this silent, powerful, uncomfortable transition, cannot be rushed by something as superficial as posting a picture. Divine timing is at play, and your spirit refuses to let you appear before the world until the masterpiece is ready. But here is where the mystery deepens. Because if heaven is hiding you, it means something extraordinary is forming inside you. Something that will make sense only when you see the full picture. And that revelation is coming next. There is something powerful, and sometimes unsettling, about being someone whose light speaks louder than their words. You carry a frequency that most people don't understand, and even fewer know how to handle. Your presence radiates truth, depth, and spiritual sensitivity. And while you may not always see the impact you have on others, you can feel it. You feel it in the room. You feel it in conversations, and you feel it most when it comes to sharing your image online. Because whether you realize it or not, your photos don't just show your face. They transmit your essence. They carry your frequency. And that frequency awakens reactions you never asked for. For some people, your light is comforting. It inspires them. It brings clarity, peace, and recognition. But for others, your light is a mirror they don't want to look into. It exposes their insecurity, their resentment, their unresolved wounds. Your existence challenges everything they've avoided confronting within themselves. And without even meeting you, they project their discomfort onto your image. This is why something inside you hesitates. Your spirit knows that exposure doesn't just bring likes, comments, or attention. It brings access. Access to your energy. Access to your aura. Access to your spiritual frequency. And not everyone who gains access comes with pure intentions. Some come with misjudgment, forming opinions about you from a place of ignorance, jealousy, or spiritual immaturity. Others come with unnecessary attacks, subtle negativity, silent comparisons, hidden envy dressed as harmless scrolling. And in the unseen realm, there are energies that respond to your presence with resistance, confusion, or aggression simply because your light disrupts their comfort. You may not fully understand this sensation, but you've felt it. That strange heaviness. That sudden fatigue after posting. That uneasy awareness that too many eyes saw too much of you too quickly. That intuition that whispers, not everyone deserves to witness your glow. Your reluctance is not fear, It is spiritual maturity. It is the quiet understanding that your aura is not ordinary, that your energy is not neutral, that your presence has consequences in both the physical and spiritual realms. And because your light triggers reactions, both good and bad, your spirit refuses to let you hand pieces of yourself to people who have not earned the right to perceive you. Your hesitation is wisdom disguised as discomfort, a divine reminder that boundaries exist for a reason, and your light is far too precious to be offered without discernment. But here's where everything becomes even more extraordinary. If your light has the power to stir energies you cannot see, then imagine what happens when that light is finally released at the right time, in the right season, with the right purpose. That moment is closer than you think. Listen closely, because everything you've felt, every hesitation, every moment you pulled back from being seen, has been leading you to this exact revelation. Your silence is not insecurity, it is alignment. A divine response rising from the deepest part of your spirit, guiding you with a wisdom your mind is only now beginning to understand. There has never been anything wrong with you, nothing lacking, nothing broken. What you thought was fear was discernment. What you interpreted as uncertainty was spiritual intelligence. And what you mistook for weakness was heaven shielding you with purpose. Your spirit has been whispering the truth all along. You are not here to display yourself. You are here to protect what I'm building inside you. There is a construction happening within you that the world is not ready to witness. A transformation so profound that it requires silence, timing, and divine discretion. You are being shaped behind the curtains, sharpened in the unseen, strengthened in the shadows. Not to stay hidden, but to emerge with a presence that needs no announcement. You think you've been avoiding the world, but the world has simply not yet been granted access to the version of you that is rising. Heaven has placed a covering over your life, not to diminish you, but to preserve you, to protect your glow before it's fully formed, to guard your identity before it becomes unshakable, to ensure that when you finally step forward, your presence will speak louder than any picture ever could. So stand in this truth with authority. Your silence is sacred. Your hesitation is holy. Your timing is divine. And when the moment arrives, the real moment, the destined moment, you will reveal yourself without fear, without resistance, without fragmentation. You will appear complete, aligned, undeniable. And the world will finally understand what heaven has known all along. Your light was never meant to fit into a frame. Before you go, anchor this truth in your spirit. Comment below, "I honor my spiritual protection." Because those words are not just a statement. They are a declaration, a seal, a spiritual agreement with the destiny unfolding inside you. And when you speak them, something in you will shift. Something in you will rise. Something in you will awaken. You were never hiding. You were being prepared.